Hi, everyone. My name's David. I'm one of the teachers here at E2 Language, and I'm going to take you through the Grammar Relative Clauses number 2 class. So welcome. Sit down, make sure you're comfortable, you're not distracted, you've got a pen and paper handy, and you're going to actively participate where possible. Now, by participating, you can speak out loud the answers, or write them down. But what I want you to do is to participate. Don't just passively watch, because you won't remember as much as if you make sounds, just talk about what you're seeing in front of you, and make notes where possible. Okay, so I'm just going to race through these. We won't use the chat box. We will use the chat box if you're on YouTube and live, because you can ask questions. But there's a technical issue tonight or in this session where I may not be able to respond. I wanted you to encourage you to use the E2 practice tasks off the platform. Make sure you do them. Work out whether you're right or wrong in the case of reading and listening, and speaking and writing. Get feedback on your tasks. Use the platform for all the exercises. You'll become familiar with the tests that you're doing, and you'll master grammar and vocabulary, and also the tasks for the tests. Today, we're actually going to look at relative clauses part 2. Part 2. Now, last week, what we did was look at these kinds of sentences. Now, we won't take 3 minutes to fix them now. We'll just take a few seconds. So which of these sentences are wrong? So first of all, read them out loud to yourself quickly, and then make a mental note by saying it or writing it down. Which of these do you think are wrong? Which ones sound wrong? Yeah, you can identify them. Now, how do we fix them? So we're going to give it a go from what we learnt last time. Here's the first one. The nurses, we didn't need they to refer back to the nurses. The nurses that work in this hospital are highly trained. Cases of COVID-19 are still increasing, which is alarming. Public health initiatives, which are essential for a healthy population, are desperately in need of funding. Jessica, pause, who lives next door to me, is still overseas. So there's a relative clause. The vaccines he's been working on is due to be released. Well, the vaccine he's been working on is due to be released in 6 months, which is great news. So we're going to identify how to create grammatically correct sentences, and we're going to do it. So last week we covered defining relative clauses, meaning we used who, which, or that. We looked at use of and non-use of relative pronouns, who, which, or that. Non-defining relative clauses, 2 types. This week we're going to learn how to use whose, whom, and where. And we're going to look at reduced relative clauses, or what we call participles. So the people protesting were arrested. Rather than the people who were protesting were arrested. Animals born in the zoo rarely return to the wild makes as much sense as animals that are born in the zoo rarely return to the wild. So in this case, we've got redundant relative clause phrases that we don't need to use. We're going to master it. Now, do not be confused by any of the language. If you're hearing it for the first time, you will become familiar with it and you will master it. It's your job, and we're going to get very good. Who versus whose. I know a man. He is a doctor. I know a man. Who is a doctor? I know a man. His wife is a doctor. I know a man whose wife is a doctor. Who and whose. Now, we're going to join the sentences using a relative clause with who or whose. Who is singular, relates to the man. Whose is a relationship between the man and his wife. His is a possessive pronoun. And we may not like that idea, but that's the way the language works. So the wife of the man is a doctor. Many women want to have children. Many women do not want to give up their careers permanently. So just looking over these, and say out loud if you think it's who or whose. You're going to hear what makes sense. Here are the answers. Many women who want to have children do not want to give up their careers permanently. Many women who want to have children. Who is the relative pronoun that replaces women? Because they're people. So many women, rather than many women who want to have children, many women, and not just want to have children, Many women who want to have children do not want to give up their careers permanently. My neighbor, whose children play music late at night, is very inconsiderate. My neighbor is the subject, whose children, the children of the neighbor, in a subordinate relative clause, is very inconsiderate. The man, subject, whose car, the car of the man, because whose is the possessive pronoun, was stolen, went to the police station. The man whose car was stolen went to the police station. The government is helping people who have recently lost their jobs. The government is helping people, the people who have recently lost their jobs. So who is the pronoun? The noun that stands for the noun. The noun in this case is the people. So the government is helping people who have recently lost their jobs. Awesome. We're getting a hang of it. We're going to sound right and then we're going to write it. Who versus whom? Now, whom is very uncommon in spoken English and becoming rare in written English too, but it does exist. It's old, kind of old-fashioned. And old-fashioned, we say now, is archaic, which means it belongs in the past. But this is the language that was used in the 50s and 60s. It's no longer used as much. So, but we have to recognize it. This is the police officer. He helped me. This is the police officer who helped me. So not whom helped me. So this is the police officer. I spoke to him. This is the police officer to whom I spoke. This is the police officer whom I spoke to. So the form whom is an object form of the word who. So it means that it's the recipient, it's the recipient of the action. So this is the police officer to whom I spoke. So I spoke to him. I spoke. Whom did you speak to? I spoke to the police officer. This is the police officer to whom I spoke. This is the police officer whom I spoke to. And we won't hear it. It's old-fashioned, but we will hear who and whose. But we still have to recognize it. So, number one, there are several people in this room. I respect them. What do we do with the people in the room? There are several people whom I respect in this room. Now we would say who I respect in this room, because whom doesn't sound right. So the woman was angry. I spoke to the woman. The woman to whom I spoke was angry. Very formal. The woman whom I spoke to was angry. Many people enjoy discussing politics. I work with them. Many people with whom I work enjoy discussing politics. Many people whom I work with enjoy discussing politics. So whom is still around, it's just used a lot less. In spoken English, we would use who or that. Yep, spoken English is less formal than written English, and we won't use whom in modern conversation. Sometimes you need a preposition to, by, with, from, for. In this case, the collocation that goes with work is work with, rather than many people whom I work enjoy, many people with whom I work, or many people whom I work with. Where? Let's look at this one. This is the building. I work there. This is the building that I work in. This is the building which I work in. This is the building where I work. The city is in lockdown. I live in the city. The city which I live in is in lockdown. The city where I live is in lockdown. No preposition with where, but a preposition with which or that. Good old English. Now, the way we learn it is to hear it more often than read it. So we're identifying the preposition that collocates, that is a collocation, with the preposition or the verb. The pronoun or the verb is what I mean. So the preposition that collocates with the pronoun or the verb. Let's look at this. We're going to create single sentences using whom, object pronoun, whose, possessive pronoun, or where, pronoun of place. I am studying in a library. That's a where one. I met a woman last night. That's going to be a whom or whose. There were three people. It's going to be whom or whose, because who relates to people. Connect with people, their opinions. It's going to be a who or whose as well, because it's not a location. So give it a go. Just a couple of seconds for you to work it out. Read it out loud on your side. Let's do it. I am studying in a library. It's a place. There are no windows in the library. I'm studying in a library where there are no windows. Where locates us in the library. I met a woman last night. Her son is a millionaire. I met a woman last night whose son is a millionaire. So the son of her is a millionaire. So I met a woman last night whose son is a millionaire. It's a possessive pronoun. Now, we don't like to think that people own us, but in this case, it does in terms of relationship. So she's the son of the mother. Yep, son of the woman we met last night. There were 3 people at the party. I had never met them before. There were 3 people at the party whom I had never met before, which is the object of the verb meet. In this case, in the past, met. It can be difficult to connect with people. Their opinions are very different to yours. It can be difficult to connect with people. The owner of the opinions are the people whose opinions are very different to yours. Getting the hang of it? Yep. Now, it sounds challenging. There are obstacles, but not once you start using it correctly and scoring literally the accuracy most of the time, if not all of the time, which is what you're aiming for. Okay, reduced relative clauses. Now, we think do not give up on any of this. You'll be masters of this in no time. The woman applying for the job has a lot of experience. The woman who is applying for the job has a lot of experience. Or the woman present participle of the verb apply. I am applying is used in this sentence. So the man is driving the car. What is he doing? He is driving the car, present continuous. The man is drunk. It's an adjective. The man who or that is driving the car is drunk. The man driving the car is drunk. A police officer was following him. He told him to stop. A police officer who was following him told him to stop. Who or that introduces the information about the police officer that adds information to what the police officer is doing. So a police officer told him to stop. A police officer who or that was following him. A police officer, participle, following him, object pronoun of he, told him to stop. Okay, now ignore that the numbers are wrong. I changed the slides, but we couldn't transmit them because there was a technical error. So the students were learning English. They didn't like grammar. The students who were learning English didn't like grammar. Yep, can you do that? See if you can do it for the second, third, and fourth ones. You're going to reorder the words and you're going to use who, that, which, whose, or whom. Getting it? Once you start getting it, you'll get excited because you're good at it. So let's have a look. The students were learning English. They didn't like grammar. The students, more information learning English, didn't like grammar. Yep, the basic sentence is the students didn't like grammar. The students, which ones? The students learning English. Who are these people? They are pointing at us. Who are those people pointing at us? Those, in this case, is a pronoun that replaces people, and it's known as the demonstrative pronoun. It also means the people there rather than the people here. So who are those people over there pointing at us? The detectives were investigating the crime. They found new evidence. What happened? Well, the detectives investigating the crime found new evidence. What were the detectives doing? They were investigating the crime. Which detectives? The ones investigating the crime. The detectives investigating the crime, not the detectives doing something else, found new evidence. The building has 3 windows. The windows overlook the garden. The building has 3 windows overlooking, using a participle, ending in ing, the garden. We're good? Okay, so see if you can, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, finish these sentences with your own ideas. The problems facing my country who, which, that, whom, or whose. The problems facing my country, the problems which are facing my country are economic and social. Many people who are living in my city don't have air conditioning. Essays which contain many grammar errors score low in tests. I like watching TV shows featuring comedians. I like TV shows which feature comedians. All right, you're owning the construction of the sentences. The problems facing my country are very serious. Facing is a participle used there. Many people living in my city are unhappy about the lockdown. Which people? The ones living in the city. Essays containing many grammar errors will not score band 6, and I like watching TV featuring my favorite actors. Keep going. The child bitten by the dog went to hospital. The child who was bitten by the dog went to hospital. Bitten is a past participle here. So instead of who, which, or that, or whose or whom, we use the past participle, meaning the action happened in the past. How do we know it's the past participle? Because it's a past form of the word bite or to bite. So the man was arrested. Present perfect, it's happened in the past. He was, present simple, drunk. The man who was arrested was drunk. The man arrested, past participle, was drunk. Interesting, isn't it? So the fine was given to the man. It was very expensive. The fine thing which replaces the fine was given to the man was very expensive. The fine, past participle, to the man, the fine given to the man was very expensive. You're going to get very good at this. All right, practice writing or speaking single sentences with reduced, meaning we don't use who, which, or that, whose or whom, relative clauses. Therefore, we're going to use participles, present or past. And if we look at this, yeah, there's one present tense and there are 3 past tense. So you're going to use past participles and a present participle. Present participle will be ing. Past will be the past participle. Bit, bitten. I bite, bit, bitten. I bite, I bit, I have bitten. Deary me. Away you go. Good luck. We're good? All right, let's have a go at it. Do the ones that sound right. Yep. Many people invited to the party couldn't come. Yeah. So reduced relative clauses, we used invited, past participle. The car, singular, damaged, past participle in the accident has been repaired. The car damaged in the accident has been repaired. Damaged gives information about the car. So damaged, it replaces who, which, or that. So the car which was damaged in the accident has been repaired. The car damaged in the accident has been repaired. Next one, the money was stolen from the bank. The money has not been found yet. We're going to put the information in about the money. The money stolen from the bank. Which money? The money stolen from the bank has not been found yet. 2 sentences reduced to 1 sentence. Subject remains the same. Relative clause is reduced by not using who, which, or that, instead uses the participle. Ding. IELTS test language skills. These IELTS tests language skills. These language skills are needed in everyday and academic life. IELTS tests language skills needed in everyday and academic life. Ding. Okay, now we're on the money. All right, your turn. Can you try using reduced relative clauses, that is the participle present or past, to complete these sentences? Do the ones you like or want to do first. Yep. Okay. Now, great. Now you can, when you're watching this as a recording, press pause, go back, rewind, press pause, and do the task. In this one, we're going to find and fix the errors. So we're either going to use who, which, that, or whose, or whom, or we're going to use the participle to complete these sentences. Okay, you found them? All right, let's have a look. The man whose, because it's the car of the man whose car was possessed, the car is described as whose because it belongs to the man. The man whose car was damaged in the accident was not injured. I have a great view from the room position where I study. The doctor performing, because he's in the process of doing it, the operation is the best in the world. Now, in actual fact, that's a present participle, but the operation may not have taken place yet. Although the action in the past taken was not popular, it was necessary. Several people whose children of those several people, go to this school are unhappy. The playground built in the past last year is not safe. You guys are going to be great. Yep, let's have a look at what we've done. Last week, we looked at defining relative clauses with who, which, or that. We looked at the use and non-use of relative pronouns, pro, noun that stands in the place of another noun. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they, subject pronoun. Mine, yours, object pronouns. Possessive pronouns, my, yours, his, hers, its, ours, yours, theirs. Subject, object, relative pronouns. Replacing nouns. Brian's car, his car. Cheryl's table, her table. And non-defining relative clauses means that if you took them out, the sentence would still make sense, but they do add information to the subject. This week, we learned about, because we've already done it, how to use whose, whom, and where, place, ownership, so possessive pronoun, whom, object pronoun, on who the action is made, reduced relative clauses where we use participles, present and past, to write grammatically correct sentences to convey information accurately. Well done, our team. Practice the task at assessment. Practice all the English skills, listening, writing, reading, and speaking. Attend the live classes, as many as possible. Do the mock tests ready for test day. If you already belong, upgrade and make sure you take advantage of the live classes, one-to-one tutorials, mock tests, and teacher feedback. In a one-to-one tutorial, you will have a 45-minute private session. You can choose the time. We've got teachers around the world who are available for you all the time, and get comprehensive feedback. I'm taking them at the moment. It'd be great to see you in a tutorial. Thanks for joining us, and really look forward to seeing you in the next class. Keep up the good work, study hard, practice, watch this in review again, like rewind and go through. You are mastering sentences, mastering grammar, and you will be amazing as a result. Could work. It does work. It does get in. See you in the next class. Take care. Bye now.